Hello and welcome to another edition of Sensible Conversations right here on Fiifi Banson television. Great to have you for company again, and we're going to be talking to somebody who is vying for the topmost of this country in terms of our seating. He wants to be the first gentleman, first of all, of his political party, and then becomes eventually the first gentleman of this land. He's an energy analyst. And many of you know him. He's been on TV, he's been on radio talking about our energy sector. He's an expert in that direction. If you want to follow us more on these conversations, just go to the Fiifi Banson YouTube channel. And then all you have to do is to click on subscribe. And then there you go. The notification signs will be there for you. And then you get every notification on every video we put out there as far as sensible conversations are concerned. My guest, like I told you, his name is Kojo Poku. Kojo Poku is an energy expert and he's vying for flag bearership of the NPP. Kojo, good to have you.
Fiifi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm really good. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, it's been.
When I got the call, I'm like, look, you know what? Few calls, I'll go. You know what I mean? Because these days we are overwhelmed with a lot of things.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, so when I'm coming, my team was like, wait, I said, you guys don't worry, leave me, let me go and do what I'm doing. It's got nothing to do with this.
You know. Yeah. I was actually surprised when I saw that you were interested, your nomination actually, that you were interested in vying for the flag bearership of the NPP. How long have you had about this?
Well, a very long time. I've always told people that if it wasn't the constitutional limit of 40 years, I'll have probably done this earlier. I mean, the issue of when I first came to Ghana in 98 and I worked with the likes of Hawa, Yakubu, Iron Lady of Ghana Politics, I worked with Jay, I worked with Dr. Preku, I worked with... Look, I was within that political thing, and I really liked the intrigues of how the whole thing works. And I thought, look, this is something I can do. And I've always been that leadership person, and I feel that if ever I want to do something, I want to do it from the top, not from the middle or the bottom up. And everybody was like, but you need to start from somewhere. I'm like, yes, but that's why I'm doing this apprenticeship with all these big men.
You didn't think of starting as an MP, getting into the realms first?
I have never wanted to be an MP. The thought, I nearly became an MP in 2008, nearly, but it wasn't something that I really wanted to do. So, Subin, which was Honorable S.K. Wafo, 2004, I was very integral part of his campaign. Then, because of the support and the help and everything that I gave to Honorable SK, he was like, Kojo, Asante Kasem, me do be similar, so me kwa na be dimadi, that kind of thing. So everybody felt like there were two people that were vying for that position. Was me and a man called Ayisi Boateng.
Yeah.
Right. Ayisi Boateng had a filling station, golf filling station right next to the Staff Market. Everybody knew that he was someone that was very interested in that position. And it was then me and him. But I wasn't too keen. But SK felt that, look, I will be a good material to take over. But then imagine in 2008, then around 2006, 2007, the Isaac Osei conversation came up where President Kufuor was like, look, let's try and give Isaac, who is then coming back from as an ambassador of the UK, to now let him contest there. So myself and Ayisi Boateng backed off, and Isaac went through as the MP of the area. That was the closest I came to becoming an MP, to basically contest Ayisi.
You could have still come after Isaac.
No, I like I said, it wasn't something that I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then Eugene had always muted. I've always come up with the idea that he wanted to be an MP. I remember a very big back and forth between me, Eugene, and SK Boafo at Legon in 2007 when we were doing the Congress. But like I said, it wasn't something I want to do.
Okay.
For a very simple reason. The whipping system in Parliament doesn't agree with me.
Why?
Because I think that as a people's representative, you go there to represent your people. Look, I grew up a lot, as you say, half of my life was spent in the UK, right? I saw the backbenchers in the UK and how the UK Parliament works. There are instances where people don't agree and the backbenchers couldn't be whipped, and they would probably defeat a motion that the front bench wanted to carry.
Right.
So I believe that in Ghana we should have that system. But it looks like in our parliamentary system, everything is whipped, okay, and it doesn't agree with me. There are things that I think we should allow a free vote and allow the parliamentarians to basically side with the minority side to basically defeat the motion from the government side. It shouldn't everything that we whip. In Ghana, we whip everything.
Yeah.
So for me, that's where it's a problem.
I mean, when I saw, actually, again, let me tell you, when I saw that you were going into this big deal, I was like, yes, Africa's population is quite youthful, and it's a good plan to have a young person go into it. How has it been like so far, the journey to contest for this?
Well, look, it took me 6 months to convince the missus, because I realized that she has to be on board. You can't spring it on her, right? So it took about 6 months to convince her. Initially, it was a no. Then, after a while, I basically got her to come around to the idea. Then, when she was on board, I'm like, okay, cool. Then I'm good. So then, December.
Because when you have domestic support, it's
right. You need that.
It's the first most important thing.
Yeah. So I really tried very hard to rope her in, not to spring it on her, because I knew that she's gonna, along the line, it affects the family, right? So she came on board, and then December of was it 2000? So this thing was about 18 months now. So then last year, the December before last, what happened was that I think some youth in Ashanti region have gotten wind through my conversation with friends that I wanted to do that. But they were of the opinion that I should go independent. Okay? So they now came to have a meeting with me, because we always spend Christmas in Kumasi. So they came to meet with me and said, like, look, they think that I should do it, but I should do it as an independent. And they think that Ashanti hasn't gotten its fair share of development. I said to them, no. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it as an NPP person. I'm not going to do it as an independent. So then they are like, okay, fine. We will support you if that's what you want to do. Then just after Christmas, during the January of last year, they started saying that, look, if I don't announce, they would go ahead and announce it that they are backing me for the nomination of the leadership of the party. So they went ahead of me and did a press conference in Ashanti region. Look, they are basically supporting me, and if when the time comes and I don't pick the form, they will go and pick the forms for me. So that now made rounds. Then I had to really, like around February, come out and say, yes, it's true. I have basically decided that I'm going to do this. But immediately I had decided that I would do it. Then the first thing is that you are the only person that wants to lead the party, that nobody in the party really knows you. Because bear in mind, between 2001 and 2008, that I was very active in the His Excellency Jakum Kufuor's administration, all those delegates are no longer there. The delegates have changed multiple folds. And I have not been really an active member of the party. I've never been an MP, assemblyman, nothing. Okay? So I said, to now put that to work, I need to tour and speak to the grassroots of the party. So from February last year, I started going around the country. And by the end of the year last year, I had met I have been to all 16 regions and met most of the electoral area coordinators and the polling station executives. Bear in mind, along the line last year, they were also doing their election for the polling station, electoral area coordinators, the constituency. So I was basically meeting and talking to people along line, sponsoring some of the constituency executives, sponsoring some of the regional executives, sponsoring some of the electoral area executives, buying forms for people and stuff like that. So I was really an integral part of that process last year till we now got the national executives. So for me, when in February, the start in February was a good start, because I started alongside when they were now electing the polling station executives and stuff like that from the grassroots up. So it's been good. This year, when we realized that we're going to be more than 10, then there was going to be a super delegate. Which means that, yes, the grassroots knowing you is not good enough. The big men in the party also have to know you. The constituency chairman and the regional executive have to know who you are. So I started from January again to go around the country to introduce myself to the constituency chairman and the regional executives who make up majority of the super delegates, which will happen in August. And as at last week, Thursday, I have completed all 16 regions, meeting all constituency chairmen and regional executives.
What clearly is your message when you meet them?
My message is reform. I think what drove me to do this thing is sitting back, looking at the party and government, and realize that a lot of things are not working. And over the years, I've got this red book at home. Every morning I'll wake up very early and put down my thoughts of things that I want to change, okay? And things that I want to change not from a theoretical point, but from a practical point. I'm a practical person. A lot of the things that I have done, you take a government policy that you try to work with, you realize that practically it doesn't work. Okay, so I'll make notes on, if I have the opportunity, what are the areas that I think it should be made better. Then I've been doing the energy sector thing. So I don't really talk about the energy sector thing when I go around talking to delegates. What is important to delegates is that they are in a situation. A lot of things are not going on well within the party. The structure of the party, I think, needs to be changed. A lot of resources has to go directly to the constituency level. The constituency leadership needs to be resourced, okay? The financing of the party is also something that needs to be looked at, because what you look at is, you don't want a situation where you have some resources when you're in power, you are broke in opposition, then the cycle continues over and over. It's not healthy, okay? So I think that we should have a situation where we come up with solutions and programs and ways of having the party have money, be it in power or in opposition. The way we've done it in the past is resourcing individuals or empowering individuals through help or whatever that it is. Then when the individuals make money, we hope that when the party needs resources, the individual will contribute towards the party. It hasn't worked well, because what normally happens is that when the individuals now make the money and the party comes out of power, they use that money to flirt with the party in power. And they abandon the party that made them, okay? So I think we should change how those things are. It's a going concern, and it's a thought process that I'm thinking through how best to basically have a system where the party can be resourced and liquid, be it in power or in opposition. But my main message to the delegates, which is going down very well, is reform of how the party structure is.
What do you say to critics, I mean, who say, for example, that, you know, you're not part of the status quo, the Edru Miso type of conversation that keeps going around? What do you say to such critics?
I don't have to be. You know, it's funny how, look,
because you're now going around introducing yourself to people
party,
in the party.
But the party has a constitution, and the elders of the party thought it right to say that if you want to be a leader of the party, you just have to be an ordinary member in good standing for at least 5 years. Then you can be a leader of the party. It never said that you need to be a polling station executive, you need to be a chairman. It never said that. In other positions of the party, you should and must have done certain positions. Like if you want to basically go to be a constituency chairman, you should have done certain things in the constituency before you can be a constituency chairman. But a leadership of the party, the constitution was very straightforward, that you just have to be an ordinary member in good standing for a minimum of 5 years. So it tells you that you don't have to be part of the elite. You don't have to be part of anything. As long as you are in good standing and you have been a member of the party for minimum 5 years, you can be leader of the party.
Do you see this as the toughest battle you've taken on?
Yes, it's the biggest, because you know the only election I've done in my life was school prefect when I was in secondary school, and even that school prefect, class prefect actually, and even that class prefect I won. But a teacher came in and said, no, he won't allow me to be class prefect. So there's a guy called Paul. They took Paul to be the class prefect. And even though I won, they made me assistant. Because they said that if I'm the class prefect, the whole class will be too noisy. Because I'm the leader of the noise making in the class. So why wouldn't I be the one that they give the class prefect to? Because they won't give a troublemaker to be a class prefect. So I have never really taken part in any electable position before, aside that one which I did in Opokwari. But it's the tough challenge, it's demanding, but I'm up to it. Look, I think I've had 12 years in the media, TV3, Joy News, all the radio stations in the country, to be able to espouse my ideas, for people to know that, look, if you're talking about energy, as you rightfully said, I have an in-depth knowledge of that area. But energy, Though people think that it's not the only thing you need to be president, today it's about 60% of our problems. The World Bank has come out to say that the energy sector indebtedness is the majority, is the bigger chunk of our national debt. So I think that the solutions I have been professing to government over the years, if I come in and do those solutions, Ghana will be better off for it. But yes, it is one of the biggest challenges that I'm taking on today, till date.
There are a lot of people who think that you're just putting yourself out there to be known and vying for some position maybe later on when your party is able to retain power. That's another one. That's one school of thought. Another also feels that, look, you're checking out at a point when you have to go and do the payment of the 300,000 for the filing fee and all of those things, and then become a compromise candidate for one of the supposed big wigs.
Well, look, it's funny how people look at me and straight away underestimate my pockets. Meanwhile, nobody knows my pockets. But then they look at you and think that you don't have money. Well, I don't. But people,
maybe you are rich, but they don't know.
Look, I'm rich.
But the energy sector has a lot of money.
I'm rich in spirit.
And you've been there for a very long time.
I'm rich in spirit. My account
the spirit doesn't pay the delegates.
Well, but then look, I'll tell you something before I go to your first question. When I started this thing 18 months ago, if I had looked at my bank account and decided to do this, I wouldn't have done it, right? But through people's help, people's donation, people's believing in what I'm doing, have been able to help contribute towards this journey till now. And the money that I have spent, if I had that money in my account, I'll probably said, oh, why go and waste that money to do this? But I didn't have that money when I set out the journey. When I was going to basically pay the 50,000 to pick the form, I was in Tamale. I was doing the northern side, the finishing the regions in the north, and the forms were to be started. The nomination opened on Friday. Then I was doing calculation on what the 50,000. Originally, I thought it was going to be 30,000. So I have put aside some small money that I thought I could use. But then I saw that it was 50,000. So I was doing the calculation. I got to Accra on the Saturday. On the Monday morning, I got a call from a friend. Kojo, this thing you are doing, I've not helped. I hear the fee is 50,000. Pass by and collect it. Just like that. Okay? So there are people who believe in this message. There are people who believe in this cause. And they believe that if they support me to go far, I will be able to change the status quo. Those that have money today because they are in power, they couldn't have a pot to piss in when we were in opposition. We didn't have much, but I was supporting the party with my little monies when we were in opposition. I have been constantly making money from 2001. Okay? I was a contractor in 2004. I stopped being a contractor around 2007. I have been doing my oil and gas business, and I'm doing well. I'm not a rich person, but I'm doing well. For people to look at me and think that I will chicken out because of money, that's beside the point. My family is one of the richest family in Kumasi. If you know, Poku Transport family is one of the richest family in Kumasi. So money is not the issue. Now, the issue of whether I'm trying to do it to test waters, I've been on TV for 12 years. If you're calling 5 people today who you want to consult on energy, you call me.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? If you want to call people for upstream, you call me. You want to call people for downstream, you call me.
Yeah.
So what is the popularity I'm looking for? I already know popular. So I don't get that thing where I'm coming in to test waters, to be known. If I want to be a minister or I want to be an MP, I told you, I've done it earlier. And there are seats that I can take. My dad is the chief of Mampontein. The Kwabri East seat, there has been an ongoing thinking that I wanted it. I had a little stink of trying to be an MC of the area. And I was shortlisted from the district to the Jubilee House. I was part of the 4 that were interviewed by the Jamboche committee, and my name was submitted to be MC of Kwabri East. Okay, so the people of the area think very high of me to put my name forward to be an MC. But then later, one of my colleagues, which was the chairman of the party, became the MC who is there now. So I don't need the publicity. I don't need all that. I'm one of the few people that I had the chance. I don't know if you know Wallace, Uncle Wallace from GBC.
Yes, Wallace Bampo.
Wallace Bampo.
The late Wallace Bampo.
Yes,
very well.
Let me tell you a story. A quick one. In 98, in 99, you know, there was this millennium Y2K. Okay, that time, Ghana, we all said that a lot of the computers might not cross over because they had 2000 because they had a little bug, and Ghana were not well prepared. I had done an interview on GBC Breakfast Show in the morning. That time, was it Gifty?
Auntie?
Yes, I think so. I can't remember who it was. It's Gifty or some other, or the fair.
Akushika,
It was it was the fair. Thank you.
Yeah.
In the morning. Then Uncle Wallace have seen the interview and he said, this man understands IT. He's a IT wizkid. Not knowing, he had gone to the board of GBC and said that they need to have a program on GBC to educate Ghanaians on IT, because they didn't have any program to do with computers, that educating people on computers. So he called one day and said he's gotten approval for me to host a show on GBC to educate Ghanaians on computers. I said, no, I can't do it. You know why? At that time, I didn't have a car. I was a guy walking around with my briefcase. I'm going to be on TV. Everybody will know me. And the next minute, I finish GBC. I stand on the side of the car and looking for a taxi. Yeah. I'll be too known and I'll be broke.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not interested. I didn't do it. Later, some guy hosted that show. So there was a show on GBC that they would take people through the various components of computers and stuff like that. Simple. The point I'm trying to make is that I do not need to be popular. I have turned down opportunities of trying to be popular. In 2000, I was part of the Y2K team put together by Commander Griffith, that time Deputy Minister of Communication. Okay, so I've been around, but people don't know the person Kojo Poku. So look, let's discount that thing of him.
Actually, people even don't know that you are the son of Poku Transport.
I'm the grandson of
Poku Transport.
Yes, people don't know that. A lot of people, because you know what? Nobody is from this town. Only a few people, the Ghana people, are from here. We all came to come and hustle in Accra. But in Kumasi,
even the young people are not from here.
Well, there you go. You know, but in Kumasi, when we enter Kumasi, that one we can now put our chest up and know that we are home.
Afro Capitano and all those.
There you go. Yeah. You know what I mean? So look, anytime that people come up with those thinking of, oh, he's doing it for this, he's doing it for that. No.
What about the assertion that you probably might be a compromise candidate?
Why would I? I will be a compromise candidate. Yes, that all the old men will back me to.
Not the other way around.
Why would I do that? Look, okay, so there's going to be a conversation along the line, and people have started talking about it. Hakman Uzo came out and said that they should be a compromise candidate. I have said that they should allow everybody to go through the super delegate in August. Let there be a litmus test so that we know who is popular within at least the higher echelon of the party. Those that go through the 5, if the 5 decides to sit down and we think that we need to come up with a compromise candidate, that will be from us, the candidates. We don't need an external person to come and tell us what to do.
The Hakman is not an external person.
Oh, in the contest, he's an external person. He's not part of the contest.
Contesting.
He's not contesting. So if we, the delegates, if we, the aspirants, decides that we want to do that, that's something that will be among us. But until we decide to do that, nobody should try and put pressure. Because if you are trying to get a consensus candidate, you might end up also enraging the grassroots. Because the grassroots might want somebody else, and the party might decide to basically zoom in on somebody who the grassroots do not like. That will create a problem. But if the candidates themselves sit and decide that, look, this is something that after super delegate, this is what we want to do, this is the agreement we've come to, then that one, it is the candidates that have come to that conclusion.
Do you believe
it ever happens? If it ever happens.
Do you believe you will be in the first 5?
I am more than in a belief that I'll be in the first 5. Look, nobody's message is going down well than my message is going down. And they say fear delegates, but look, I say this. When you're going around in election, and I've learned this the hard way, basically have a message. Have a likability. Then show appreciation. Appreciation is when people come to listen to you. You are very amenable to giving them transportation to go back. If you were to go around the country to every constituency, it will probably cost you more. If you tell them to meet you in the regional capital, and they come from their constituencies to meet you in the regional capital, you show appreciation by giving them the transport they brought to go back. Okay? But before you start giving people transport to go back, make sure that 1, you're a likable candidate, 2, you have a message, then show appreciation. That way, if nothing at all, the people now believe in the message that you are giving them. When you go around and you don't have a message, and you're going around giving them money, that is where the problem is.
So let me take your mind on towards this angle. What's your take on moneycracy in our politics?
Well, it's real.
especially in our primaries and things like that.
Well, it's real. People come at you at all corners with all sort of requests, with all sort of demands. And
Have people come at you?
Oh yeah, every day. But it's up to you to say yes or no. And I say no if I can't. I say yes if I can. So it's not by force. What I have learned is that people who come at you every corner for money or request for financial support all the time, consistently, persistently, are people that don't support you. They see it as, look, the guy has money.
It's a cocoa season.
Yes, let's go spend some. But those that are really working, I have some beautiful young guys around the country who are working. There are individual scenarios where somebody genuinely need help and they just came at you. You weigh it, see how it touches your heart and help. But is it heavily money? Yes, we are making it so. Why is that? The grassroots sits there, you go there, don't give them any hope, don't do anything better. You go and tell them whatever, they vote for you, right? In 4 years, you don't do anything for them. They are dejected, they don't have anything to hold on to. Then you go back again. What's their thinking? Their thinking is that this guy came 4 years ago, just didn't do anything from all the things he said. Let me take as much as I can off him so that if he goes and I don't hear from him again, at least I got something off him. That is why. I've always said that politics and religion are cousins. Okay? They are all built on faith and hope. The difference with religion is that nobody have died and come back. The day somebody die and come back and say, look, this life after death thing is bullshit, everybody will stop going to church. There will be no religion. But the politicians, the reason the politics, people have lost the hope and the faith is that the 4 years comes and go. And after every 4 years, the people are where they are. Their life hasn't changed.
Yeah.
We have not given them, we have not fulfilled the hope and the faith they had in us. So they've given up. Okay? So that is why people are demanding a pound of flesh when you go in front of them. But if the politicians were to be sacrosanct and stick to their word, that money thing will not occur.
Do you think that these elections will be fair?
All elections in Ghana, I think, is fair. Those that have been involved.
But that's quite debatable.
Well, it is, but I mean, look, if you go to other countries and you see how the elections are held, elections in Ghana is way, 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 way fair. People might feel that they are cheated here and there because they think that their candidate didn't win. But look, I've always said that the way our politics and our election has come up from 92 till today, Ghana runs one of the best elections in Africa, if not in the world. When you have time, interviewed Mr. McMenu, he will tell you, he goes around to various African countries and basically...
Africa might not be a good yardstick to measure.
Well, Africa might not be, but in the world, look, even in America have problems. American election is never fair. The American election has always been entangled in problems. Just that we see the part on CNN and we think that election is over. American elections go for 3-4 weeks.
But some of the things that happens in our elections, they don't happen there.
We don't know that because we don't know that. They don't show it to us on TV, so we don't know that. Look, in some parts of America, there's a lot of things that goes on, but like it's brushed under the carpet. Here, we expose it. But the coming election is going to be one of the most fairest elections because the reason Ghana's election has evolved, the two main political parties go into opposition. They know what happened when they were in power. They now have an eagle eye. The one in power evolves the system, leaves, go to opposition. The guy in opposition comes into power, evolve the process. So we've gotten to a place where I think we are much, much, much better. So 2024 is going to be one of the most fairest elections that we probably ever had.
Talking about
every year it gets better.
Talking about the NPP elections itself, the primaries.
Oh, 100%. Oh, the NPP election is going to be one of the most fairest because, look, we are the leading party for a reason. We are a fair party, and I don't see how anybody's going to feel that they've been done in by this process.
You think that all the candidates think the same way that you're thinking?
I cannot speak for them, but I might be naive, but the little that I have seen, I don't think anybody has a reason to organize a biased election. Chairman in team, Kudia, all those guys for me are just top-notch people that I think that they mean well and they will do well.
Because it's you, I don't want to bring in the other candidates who are contesting you because this conversation is about you, so it doesn't look like you're promoting other people. It's about you, this particular conversation. Looking at where you have come from all these years, the work you have done, the kind of advantages you have actually raked in, the money you have made, all the things that you have done for yourself as a political person, do you really think that NPP as a party is ready for a younger person like you?
No, the party at large is not ready because it's new. I am trying to change mindsets. Everybody see the status quo. Everybody think that the older people should be the ones that should do it. You are young, wait for your turn, let us groom you, become an MP. You know, the normal status quo. Start from somewhere.
So you must go through the
mill.
Yeah.
I mean, the queue is so, in rule so, a drum is so, win and a 10, all those.
Because NPP has a tradition. And the tradition of the party, I mean, as far as some of us know, is that, look, you need to pay your dues, you need to be in there, you need to work for the party, you need to do things with the party.
I don't think that's the tradition.
I
don't think that's the tradition.
I mean, Ronaldo, for example, came on the backdrop of Yenimo Fetete. You know, so people who have been in the party, have paid their dues, have worked for the party for this long, have been at the front line, have been known and all of that. Are those the party rewards? The party rewards that kind of loyalty.
Okay.
You think you are in pole position to be rewarded for that?
Well, so
or have you done enough to be rewarded?
So then the question I put back when that question is asked is not good to answer a question with a question, but then the question I ask when somebody asks that question is that, okay, we did all that for Nana, right? Are people in the party happy with the way their situation is today?
Are they happy?
That's what I'm saying. That is a question I ask.
But you are within the party.
It is for each person to answer that question for themselves.
But you are within the party.
I am within the party. You've spoken
to the people in the
I've
party.
spoken to them. They are not. They are not happy.
They are not happy.
No, they are not.
They are not happy with.
That is why I'm saying that I want to reform a lot of the ways and the parties run. So you would take one person who we admitted has been through the ranks and file of the party, and we gave him the leadership of the party. Now, we came into power in 2017. 7 years on, or say 6 years on, are the people at the party. You see, there's a difference between party and government.
Yeah.
And I always want people to understand that. And in this case, I'm talking about the party, not the government. When we now have somebody who has come through the party, the ranks and file of the party, we're rewarded because he's been around Fritite, made him the leader of the party, and he became president. He's been president for 6 years. Are the people within the party, are they happy with the situation they are in? And when you go around, the question is no.
Why are they not happy?
Because they feel that the party is not well resourced to take care of their day-to-day activities as party members or party executives. So that is the question. So that's why I asked that question, right? Because the point now is, do we need somebody who has ideas to change things and do things better, or just reward somebody because they've been around for so many years? Because clearly we have somebody who is in government and is not given that feel, whether real or a perception, to the people in the party. That is why there's an election. So when that person is leaving, the next question is, what do we do? Do we go back to the same scenario, pick somebody who we think has been around for a long time, and make him a leader of the party and president? Would that person be any different? So it doesn't matter. The most important thing is that the people within the party want their life changed. The people within the party want things to change. If Kojo Poku is the one who is saying that he's going to do that, and they believe that he can deliver, it doesn't matter. As long as he qualifies to be leader of the party, he should be leader of the party. It doesn't matter whether he's been around for 10 years, 15 years, or 30 years.
You think people were happier with President Kufuor's relationship with the party and how he treated the party people than what their experience under Nanado?
Comparatively, I think people will tell you, those that were part of, because a lot have changed. Not a lot of the delegates.
Not governance. I'm talking about the party.
I'm talking about party. Yes.
Yeah.
I think a lot has changed, as in the people that were involved in President Kufuor's time are not the same people involved today. But some people were at much junior level as a delegate has grown up to, you remember, people who were maybe constituency level are now regional level under Nanado, but maybe President Kufuor time they were polling station executives or maybe electoral area coordinators. Those people will tell you that the regime is different. They felt that the party had a lot more attention, resources coming to the grassroots during that time than it is today.
Is Nanado not aware of this?
I don't know. You have to ask him that.
But you're in the party.
Yeah, but no, I don't know if he knows because I've not spoken to him and I've not asked him. That look, there is a going concern. I'm telling you what the going concern is.
Have you met him?
Ask him when. I haven't met him since last year Christmas. I haven't seen him since then.
Have they ever taken any of the things that you have done, especially with respect to your energy ability and all of that? Have they ever taken any of them into consideration?
As in the advice I give government?
Yes.
Oh, yes, most of the times. You know, we do, not everything that I talk about. I work closely with the Ministry of Energy. When Ojakun was there, we worked, through OPAM, who was his special assistant. I worked with OPAM a lot. When Honorable Peter Mewu came, I worked with Honorable Peter Mewu very well. And there are suggestions that I will give. And now that my brother is there in Napo, every now and then, if there are things that I think that is not going well, I will send him a message saying that, look, bro, I don't think this thing goes well. And we will talk about it. So there are things that you say they will take. There are things you say they don't take. There is their prerogative. What I give is only an advice. And I will be doing that not as a party member. I'll be doing that as a civil society member. And as a civil society under the LG coalition, there are ideas that I come up with. And when I suggest them, some are taken, some are not.
You know, some people are really surprised to see you go into this contest because everybody knows you as an energy analyst, and they thought, oh, he's one of the neutral energy analysts who is extremely balanced and all of that. I mean, for such people, well, what do you say to them?
It's a good thing. If I have been with the party since J. Kufuor's time, and from 2010 till now, I'm able to sit on TV and give straight down the middle conversation, it tells you that I'm an honest person. If you sit on TV and you've watched someone for 10 years and you couldn't tell that person is NPP, it means that it says a lot about the person. Because what I believe is that most people are tired of the shouting, the banter, and the back and
the
forth.
rhetorics and all that.
Right. For me, I do two things. I give the explanation and educate the viewers or the listeners, and I offer solutions to the problem.
So you deal with the professional aspect.
Exactly. So the political side, and I think that's the bit that might go against me if they are to vote on propaganda, because I don't know how to do propaganda. So
you shoot from the hip.
I see it, I say it as it is. And even there is an audio on YouTube where a presenter, I can't remember what station he was on, is saying that how could they let me pick a form when I have always been on media criticizing the NPP government. But what certain people don't seem to realize is that critique of government is not the same as critique of party.
Yeah, but you're exhibiting your professional ability.
Exactly. And in all these instances, I have never been wrong. For the 10 years I've sat on TV, if you want to talk about PDS, I was dead on the money. I gave the parliamentarians, the Finance and Energy Committee, I gave them that PDS under the regime that they have it will not last 1 year. It did not last 6 months. Okay, I was dead on the money. A lot of policies that government has rolled out that some of us have come out and said, look, this thing will not work. It doesn't work. Because, put it this way, if you are a minister, until you became the minister, ask yourself, what were you doing? Okay? I've been doing the energy sector for 23 years. Since 2020. For nothing at all, I have what is called institutional memory. Okay? So when you come in and I tell you that certain things won't work, I'm not only saying it because I don't like you. I sit on a lot of investment banking boards. Okay, so I have an in-depth understanding of financing. I'm not a financial person, but if you sit on these boards for a very long time and they give you all this bulky documentation and you research, you get to understand the fundamental of funding, how investment works, and all those things, right? Yeah. So I've been sitting on these boards for a while, so I understand investment banking. Then I have friends who have worked for Goldman Sachs and all these things, and they basically explain things to me when I need explanation. Then I have the background, which is the practical businessman that I am. I've been doing various things in business. Then I have the energy side, which I'm well. So when you come to me and I look at something like, my brother, this won't work. I'm not saying it won't work because I don't like you. I'm saying it won't work because
from your professional experience,
from my personal practical experience, it doesn't happen in business.
If we don't find Kojo Poku in the first 5, what happens?
Well, I will still support the party. I will work hard for the party to win power in 2024. Look, our next election is going to be heavy on energy discussions because if fuel prices go up, if electricity prices go up, if the energy sector indebtedness is not taken care of, Ghanaians suffer. So it's going to be a heavy conversation on energy. And if I'm not part of the 5, which inshallah I'm going to be, then I will support whoever or the group of people or whoever wins to basically battle the NDC for 2020.
If you're not part of the 5, I mean, this is hypothetical. If you're not part of the 5, would you support any particular candidate?
No. I will just leave them to battle it along, and when one person emerges, we all support that person.
This is your camera. I just need you to talk to your delegates.
Okay. Thanks for watching. And as you have listened to us, I've gone around the country to espouse my ideas on how I want to reform the base, the grassroots, the polling station, the electoral area, the constituency leadership, give more resources and financing to the constituency chairman. Okay, restructure how the various level of reporting operations is in the party. Then we will now realize that we'll be able to get more resources directly to the constituency chairman, who then will be able to now resource the constituency. Bear in mind, the party is constituency based. We have MPs from the constituency, and if we work hard at the constituency, that is where we can now turn some of these NDC constituencies to NPP constituencies. So I hope to be able to do that when I'm given the nod to lead the party. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kojo. I wish you all the best. I wish you very, very well. And I'm sure that after August, we'll have this conversation again.
Anytime.
And then we get to see where you head towards. We're interested in where you're heading towards. If you win the nomination, definitely you are here with us. If you don't even win the nomination, opportunities are always available for you. You know, it's not the end of the world.
No,
opportunities are available. So we want to wish you the very best of everything. So we've been talking to Kojo Poku, who's an energy expert, and he's actually looking forward to being the flag bearer of the new Patriotic Party. We wish him all the very best. Just keep on watching Fiifi Banson TV for more of such sensible conversations right here. Subscribe, go to the channel, subscribe, press the red button, subscribe, and then the notifications will give you every video we put out here. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good time.